Got a 4-pounder with a nice flat.
Working that one piece. It took about a month.
That's unhappy with it.
Jacked up for all your recordings and voice memos.
April Fool's Day. It's a poor man's product review. It's more of an unboxing and hey, let's see what this thing can do. Many of my projects I do freehand. I mean, it's just you know, curves and scrolls and things like that. I want them to be freehand. But some of my projects, especially the bigger ones where I have multiple parts I have to make, or you know, more where a curve or a shape like that is the tolerance is tighter. I wanted to be able to create jigs and things a little easier than with freehand, especially making rings. And that brings us to the product that we're going to look at today, which is the Harbor Freight Harbor Freight Planetary ring roller. So that came in this week. The balcony project that I have coming up, I need to do some curved pieces and many of them. So I'm hoping this is going to help me do that. You know, I think I paid, I don't know, $50 or $60 for the thing. So it's not a very expensive one. It certainly isn't a heavy-duty one in the box. But I've been, you know, for a year now, I've been wanting to make one. They're pretty simple to make, but you got to find or make the rollers, and that's what's been holding me back. But this is what came in the box. Here's our disassembly, or our assembly, disassembled drawings, instructions, ripped paper, more paper for me to test knives with. It looks like it's pretty straightforward. We have our arm. Again, if you look at the mechanics of this, it's a pretty simple device to recreate. But having something to go by, I think is not a bad thing to do. So here we have the roller itself, the adjuster, everything's there. We need to get this arm on, and it looks like I got to punch this pin out. So let me do some reading, I'll be back. Put the arm on. The arm came with a pin already inside it, which we need to remove and then reinstall. We need to remove and then reinstall, which I guess isn't horrible. Won't remove it all the way, we'll just slide it out so that we can now insert it onto the handle. Make sure that the holes are lined up. Do this in a way that makes sense. Line it up that way. And just drive the pin back in. Making sure the handle's pointing out. That's a move that Chandler would make. So there we go. That's the whole get up and contraption. Hopefully I can clamp it down. I don't know for sure how I'm going to mount it or what I'm going to use to mount it, but right now we'll just clamp it down and we'll see what happens. Let me cut that is slipping off. Ah, hell, that works. Alright, I believe the specs on this is up to 3/16. Flat stock capacity 1 inch by 3/16, round stock 1/4 inch in diameter. And the whole point of the matter is, which I've never used one of these actually, is that you put your stock in here. Let me raise this, lower this. All right, that's not backwards. Usually I see the center roller moving. Oh, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? How come I'm confused here? Boom, 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 boom. Sorry for my head being in the way, but for some reason, it turns tighter than hell to go down. I don't know why. But what do you expect for 50 bucks, right? Let's hope it's doing something. Yeah, it's getting there. Alright, so we just stick her in there. I don't know, I've never run this thing. Want it lined up pretty straight. And you just run it through like that. Now I don't have much tension on this, but what you should see Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So we do now have a bit, where am I? A little bit of a curve. So we'll run that back through. A little more tension. Oops, going the wrong way now. A little more tension. Chandler be learning. Run that through again. Nice thing about this one is the rollers are small on it. Oops, I went the wrong way. So you can get a really tight diameter. I'm just doing like a quarter turn right now. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. I'll do a half turn. I want to make sure it stays true in there. We're going to end up with a spiral. We'll do another half turn. There we go. Now we're in business. Back on there. I think one more, we're going to be pretty damn close. And there you go. And there you go. Alright. So after a couple passes, we now have, alright, again, we only need about an inch off of each side, and we can now have a perfectly round ring. Very, very cool. So that was the whole point of getting it, so that if I wanted to make a jig, so I have a particular radius that I want to curve, and we can go farther with this. I mean, this thing can do a really tight curve. You find another piece of stock here. If I have anything shorter. Let's try some quarter round. It says I'll do quarter round. Let's see what kind of ring we can make out of this. Again, a lot of the things that I do, I want to do freehand, but some of the things that I do, I want exact. And that, you know, the rollers have a little groove in there for up to 1/4 inch stock, round stock. And that's nice because it holds that roller right there, the stock right there. Oops, now we're rolling. See that? That's something I didn't know about. Alright, we got to pay attention to what we're doing here now, because we're getting a spiral into the thing. See that? Oh, we got some learning to do. Look at that, Chandler. One thing I don't like that's happening, besides the fact that I'm freaking up this piece, is that, yeah, look at that. Wow, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Crazy, crazy. Alright, well, we got some learning to do there. But notice on the round stock, the knurled rollers here are actually causing grief. So this is, it did exactly what I wanted to do. Let me cut a piece of this 3/16 just to see how well it works on that, because I can use this. I can weld it to my table right now and take a hot piece and bend it around. But I think 1/8 might be a little thin when I'm trying to do, you know, 3/4 or 1 inch stuff. Let me cut a piece of this. We'll try to make a ring out of it. This 3/16 was 1/4, and it's maximum adjustment. You just can't do it. Now, I might be able to put a slight curve on this and then get in there, but it didn't happen. 3/16, it's just, I mean, they don't give you any room to play around with that. That's for sure. Trying to figure out how to make sure everything stays straight. So that's the first pass. All right, I can't adjust it down any farther than that. So that's the first pass at 3/16. So if you want a larger radius than that at 3/16, you're not going to make it. You're going to have to use 1/8 or something else. But we'll We'll get her in there. We'll see what kind of circle we can make. Cooking at a little angle here. Let me refeed it. Get her straightened back up. We'll learn this tool. The knurls are really putting the texture on this steel. I'm not happy with that, but I guess it's got to have something to grab. Jeez Louise. Oh, you can't go too far with that stuff. So that's, that's good. I mean, if I needed a controlled radius for an outside corner and then maybe another one for an inside curve or something like that, that's kind of the point where I can make my curves the right radius and then weld them together into a solid, perhaps complex curve shape. You can see it or not. I'm against the backstops on each of them, but the thing still walks out. Weird. But we're getting there. Pretty damn close right there. Okay. And with experience, I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll straighten this up, weld it together. But again, if you're after a controlled curve, it's all it takes. Put it in the machine. Obviously, there's some learning to be done. For $50, it gets you into the process of rolling the rings, which is, again, when you're trying to reproduce things, I think that's awesome. I noticed there's grease fittings on the end to keep the rollers greased. I think it's a great start, and from here I can go ahead and start to design what it is that I want to make, something larger for a heavier stock. So, for $50, it's worth a try if you have $50. But like I said, for the balcony project, I have a whole bunch of curved pieces to make, so I'm going to use this 3/16 stock as a jig, get the right curve laid out on the table, heat my stock, and bend it around. So I give it, for the price and what it seems to be doing, looks like it'll do the trick for me. Yeah, you saw what I saw. Figure it out. You choose. But that's how it works once you learn how to do it. Ciao. Alright guys, happy April Fool's Day. We ain't no fool. Who you calling a fool? We're going to do a poor man's product review. It's going to be more like an unboxing because I haven't used it yet, but I've seen enough videos where I think it'll work okay. But in my attempt to make things efficient, especially on larger projects where they're not a one-off, especially on things where there's multiple pieces that I have to make, there's my phone. Who's calling me? I know two people, and I'm here.
She's the one of a kind.